What would you do if your HOA got so desperate that they hired biker thugs to intimidate your wife? That's exactly what happened to me. Except 3 minutes after they showed up, they weren't roaring their engines anymore. They were at my front door, pale as ghosts, begging me to stop what I just unleashed. I'd been butting heads with my HOA for months. They wanted me to sign over easement rights to my driveway so they could beautify the neighborhood, which really meant adding a road that cut through my property. I refused. That didn't sit well with Karen, the president of the HOA, or her little board of cronies. At first, it was letters in the mail, then fines for untrimmed hedges and unauthorized paint colors. But when none of that worked, they decided to try something different, something darker. One Saturday, I wasn't home. My wife was sitting on the porch reading when 3 guys on loud Harley bikes rolled up, leather vests, tattoos, the whole look. They started circling the house, revving their engines, yelling things like, "Better tell your husband to play nice," and "Would be a shame if things got ugly out here." Now, most people would panic. My wife, she calmly picked up her phone and sent me one text. "They're here. Should I call them?" And by them, she didn't mean the police. See, I wasn't just some random homeowner. Before retiring, I'd worked with federal agencies on organized crime cases. Over the years, I'd built solid relationships with people in law enforcement, some of whom still owed me favors. On top of that, I knew a lot about certain clubs in the biker world, including the one these guys just so happened to belong to. I told my wife, "Don't worry, just give me 3 minutes." I made one call. That's it. One call to a friend who had connections deep in their organization. And I don't know what string he pulled or whose name he dropped, but within minutes, those bikers' tough guy act completely evaporated. Instead of revving their engines and taunting my wife, they parked their bikes, whispered among themselves, and looked nervous, like they'd just been caught trespassing on sacred ground. Then, believe it or not, they walked up to my door, knocked softly, and asked to speak with me. When I got home a few minutes later, they were still waiting, hats practically in their hands. One of them said, "Look, man, we didn't know who you were. We were just told to send a message. We're out. Won't happen again." And then they left. No roaring bikes, no threats. Just 3 guys who realized they'd messed with the wrong family. Here's the kicker. It didn't take long for word to get back to the HOA. Whatever happened behind the scenes spooked them worse than the bikers. Suddenly, the fine stopped. The letters stopped. Karen wouldn't even look at me at board meetings. It was like they'd all agreed